Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to A.O.S Abroad. Thank you very, very much for joining today's wonderful episode. I really do appreciate. I encourage more of you to actually keep on sharing our live sessions, keep on liking, and keep on subscribing and following us on our various social media platforms. It will really help get the word out and get more people to know what they need for Canada immigration as it regards particularly to permanent residents in Canada. So today we have a very interesting topic, and as we do it, sometimes we always get to analyze and dissect some of the newsletter articles that were actually written by some of the authors under cicnews.com, which is the Canada Immigration and Citizenship News website. Now, today is not going to be different. Today we are going to be actually analyzing yet another topic, another interesting title, which is centered on express entry is prioritizing new trades. Do you qualify? Some people may not really understand that. So I kind of simplified it. I simplified it a little. And by simplifying, I mean I actually asked the question: do you have a manual skill? What Nigerians or some Africans will call Isheowo. Do you have a manual skill? Then, if you have it, in brief, Canada wants you to migrate now, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, not in 3 years' time, but they want you to migrate now because they are in demand jobs, they are in demand occupations, and there are opportunities for you to actually get into Canada right now. Thank you, Doing, for joining on our live session on TikTok, and I see your likes. Really appreciate that. Now, what do we mean by Canada really wants you? Those that are into skilled trades, those that are there are a lot of people that are into this profession, but basically in Nigeria, or if you're a Nigerian or an African, they say anyone that does things with their hands, like people that are skilled in handiwork. If you are very skilled in handiwork, if you are someone that could actually do things with your hands, then Canada really wants you like yesterday. They want you like from yesterday. So the faster you are able to gather your documents, the faster you are able to apply, the faster you are able to create your profile, the better it is for you, not only you actually, but for also your family, for your spouses or your spouse, and for your child or your children. So what are we saying in essence today? We are talking about the skilled trades, the skilled trades. And as I said, if you're on TikTok, or rather if you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you would see that we are actually sharing a link, or we are sharing perhaps a um how do you call it a newsletter article that we are going to be dissecting today. And the newsletter article, funny enough, was written today, May 8th, 2028, 2025. How am I saying 2028? 2025, by Janice Rodriguez on cicnews.com. If you go on their website, that's the first article you are going to actually meet, or you are going to see. Now, there's a question that do you qualify? Do you qualify as a tradesperson? I've explained who a tradesperson is someone that is skilled in a particular occupation, or that is skilled in a particular handiwork, precisely, that knows how to do manual tasks. Do you understand? Manual tasks. And we'll talk about examples of those people in a while. But um, the article goes thus. The article states, if you qualify for express entries new trade category, you are more likely to receive an invitation to apply ITA for Canadian permanent residents. What do they mean by this? What they are telling us is that you stand a chance, you have an opportunity to actually come into Canada, not just as an international student, not just as a temporary foreign worker, not just as a visitor or seeking asylum, you understand, as a refugee, but you stand a chance to become a permanent resident directly from your home country. Do you understand? So as you are coming into Canada with your manual skills, do you understand? With your experience as a tradesperson, you stand a chance to becoming permanent resident and also assisting your family members, your other spouses or common law partner, your kids to actually become permanent residents together with you. Now, what do they mean? They buttressed it that on February 27, 2025, Canada made major changes to its express entry categories. Now, when they made a lot of changes, for those that have been following our live sessions, oh boy, why am I yawning anymore? You should note that we talked about the education category, where Canada are already bringing in teachers, bringing in instructors, bringing in how will I call it now? Bringing in mm, educators. Do you understand? So if you are in that line of practice where you're teaching people, you stand a very good chance coming in through the new education category. Also, we talked about the revised healthcare and social services occupations, which is also in demand. For many people that are into social services, into healthcare, you stand a chance to also come into Canada. And we also give the eligibility criteria. We gave the kind of people they were inviting, and we gave you ideas on how to actually become eligible for that particular category. Now, we have another category which has been ever since, but we have added, or Canada have added some new occupations, and they have revised or edited some occupations to make it much more cumbersome or to make it much more elaborate for people to come into Canada as trades individuals. You understand? As tradesmen and trades women. So let's move on. They also stated that the trade occupations category was overhauled with a total of 19 occupations added and 4 removed. So if we look at what happened, they actually added 19 new occupations that were not there before, that were not in the categories before, especially in the categories of last year, 2024. We didn't have many of these 19 categories there. Thank you very much, Justice. I see your likes on TikTok. But as they added 19 occupations, they also removed 4 occupations from the list. And we are going to be taking especially those occupations that were added. We'll be talking about those occupations. Now, let's talk about the eligible occupations under the new trade category. Now, in the year 2025, which is this year, this particular year, the trade category expanded more than any other, with the highest number of what new occupations added. So if you look at the healthcare occupations, they didn't add so many occupations as they added in the what in the trades occupations. And that's to tell you that that's like a signal to inform you that Canada really wants people. They want not just any person, but they want manual skilled workers. They want people that can work with their hands. They want people that are craftsmen and craftswomen that have some certain skills that they could use to actually boost the economy of the country. Now, currently, the trade category actually includes a total of 25 occupations. And those 25 occupations, for many of us in Nigeria, especially when we didn't get jobs in the like we didn't get the white collar jobs, we didn't get jobs in the offices. Some of us have experiences in these occupations. Now, the article stated that you can find the full list of occupations along with their corresponding national occupation classification NOC codes below with the newly added occupations that are bolded. Now let's take it one step or one occupation at a time. What are these occupations that are part of the occupations that they need in Canada currently under the trade occupations for under express entry? And what are the NOC codes attributed to them? Now, number one occupation. If you're a bricklayer, someone that is into construction with NOC 72320, you can also come into Canada as a permanent resident, not as a temporary foreign worker. Yes, many people under construction have to first of all come into Canada to work for 1 year contract, 2 year contract. No, when you are coming in as a permanent resident, you become a permanent resident. And if you feel that, oh, okay, I'm a bricklayer, I came in as a bricklayer, I don't want to work as a bricklayer, you can change your occupation. Or you didn't get a job as a bricklayer, it's not compulsory to keep on doing that job or keep on looking when you have other options like working in Walmart, or you understand, even setting up your own business. That's the opportunities that being a permanent resident actually offers you. Now, you can also, or another occupation that is very, very in demand right now in Canada is the occupation of a cabinet maker with NOC 72311. So if you are a cabinet maker, you can make cabinets, kitchen cabinets. You are very skilled in doing that. In fact, I have one of my family friends, or rather family members, that is a very good cabinet maker. Like, apart from even the cabinet maker, he's also a carpenter. He knows how well to, all these woodworks that you understand. It's a table initially, but if you open it up, you see that yes, you can also form a chair with it. When it can also work as, you understand, a cabinet. It can also work as a shelf. You understand, creativities like that. Canada really need people like that to come in. And of course, as a family member of mine, is also already working on it, as I've told him about this opportunity. Now, again, if you're a carpenter, just like I said before, there's a difference between cabinet maker and carpenters in Canada. You understand? In Nigeria, we have the same thing. A cabinet maker is also a carpenter, is also a wood finisher, is also, you understand? But in Canada, they differentiate many of those things. And the beauty of it is, if you fall into this category whereby you can work as a cabinet maker, you can work as a carpenter, you can choose any of the NOCs that best suits your particular purpose based on the skills, the experiences, and the knowledge you have actually gathered over the years. Do you understand? If you have more experience working on cabinets, you can say you're a cabinet maker. If you have a lot of experience doing, because sometimes I know, like my own family member I talked about, he says that in his own line of business, in his own line of work with, you understand, companies, with clients, and you understand everything, he works based on how the, you understand, the job comes. So he has his own firm that is a full-time, you understand, carpenter in, but the clients that the company works for, sometimes they will bring cabinets, sometimes they will bring bed frames. Do you understand? Sometimes they will bring chairs and tables to do. Sometimes what they will bring is like going to a site, a construction site, to actually be in charge of the woodwork, the woodworks of the roofing and things like that. So the work that he does is dynamic. The work that he does is based on the demand at that particular time. So the major thing is good in wood. Anything that relates to wood, you understand, wood making, wood crafting, is very good in it. But he's not like the regular Canadian carpenter or cabinet maker that focuses on one aspect of one aspect of the the woodwork, what they call it now, woodwork sphere. So if you are just similar to him, you can as well choose the best one you feel that when you come into Canada, if they address you as a cabinet maker, yes, you'll be able to deliver on that. Or if it is as a general carpenter, yes, you'll be able to, you understand, also do that. So let's move on. Apart from cabinets or carpenters. We also have concrete finishers with NOC 73100. If you work with concrete, like in Nigeria, we know a lot of people that work with concrete in sites. Do you understand? In I said TikTok, in construction sites. Do you understand that work with concrete, that work with asphalt, or what they call um you understand, bricks. They are very good in layering things. Sometimes it may be tilers that, okay, maybe you are a tiler in Nigeria. Many of these, you understand, skills, or many of these occupations, if you look in depth into the code, you see that some of what you are doing already can also be into, or can also be said to be, you can also be said to be a concrete, you understand, finisher, based on what you are currently doing at the particular time. So again, let's move on. We also have construction estimators. If you're a construction estimator with NOC 22303, you also stand a very good chance. You are in charge of estimating how much the cost of, you understand, materials are going to be as regards to construction, how you are going to, you understand, build or develop something, or you understand, construct, basically construct maybe a home, for instance, how you are going to build a home, how much it's going to cost. That's your own work. Then Canada actually wants you. If you're a construction manager as well, you also stand a chance with NOC 70010. That's okay. What you do is to actually be in charge of managing other construction workers. Do you understand? If that is your role, if that is your responsibility, Canada also needs someone like you. You understand? Now, construction millwrights and industrial mechanics, these are also very good people with NOC 72400 that Canada is currently looking for right now. You understand, to come into Canada, not as I said, a temporary foreign worker, or as a visitor, as an international student, but to come into Canada as what? As a as a permanent resident. Do you understand? You have to come into Canada as a permanent resident, have the opportunity to bring in your family together with you. You understand? So you're not just coming alone, but you are coming with your family, with your nuclear family, to actually have the advantage of becoming a permanent resident, getting the perks of being a permanent resident, and also assisting your family members to also settle in very well into Canada. Now, some of the new occupations that we also added were the contractors and supervisors in oil and gas drilling services with NOC 82021. So this is a very good occupation as well for those that are into anything oil and gas. Do you understand? You can also come into Canada right now by virtue of that occupation. If you are a cook, you understand, cooks are also wanted in Canada with NOC 63200. If you are very good in cooking, you have been cooking Italian foods, cooking Nigerian foods, cooking Canadian foods, United States or American foods, any food, you understand that you are very skilled in, and you have proofs to show that yes, okay, maybe in the hotels you have been working as a cook before, or you understand, in events you have been in charge of cooking and things like that, you can stand a very good chance of getting selected. Now, electrical mechanics with NOC 72422. If you are very good in electrical mechanics, me- as a mechanic, you can also actually come into Canada. Electricians, except industrial and power system with NOC 72200, you also stand a very good chance of getting selected. If you're a floor covering installer with NOC 73113, I was talking about this before, especially tilers, they can also fall into that category to get selected. You understand? If your own duty is to actually cover floors. If you're a gas fitter with NOC 72302, you stand a very good chance of getting selected. You are an heating, refrigeration, and air conditioning mechanic with NOC 72402. You stand a very good chance of coming into Canada through this trades occupation category. If you are an heavy duty equipment mechanic, that means you can work on tractors, you can work on things like that. you stand a very good chance with your NOC 72401. If you are a home building and renovation manager with NOC 40011, you stand a very good chance of also getting selected under the trades occupation category. If you're an industrial electrician with NOC 72201, if you work in industries, you stand a very good chance. If you are a machinist and machining and tooling inspector with NOC 72100, your field is very much in demand. Your profession is in demand in Canada. If you are an other technician, technical trades and related, if you're under other technician and technical trades and related occupations with NOC 72999, you stand a very good chance. There's one of our friends too that is also into painting and decorating, except being an interior decorator with NOC 73112. He's also very much, you understand, eligible to apply under this trades occupation to become, you understand, a painter, or to be able to enter Canada as a painter, you understand, this year. If you are a plumber with NOC 72300, you stand a great deal of chance to also get selected in this category based draws. If you are a roofer or a shingler with NOC 73110, buildings, you work in constructions, you help to actually develop or to build roofs, you understand, for a particular house, for a particular shed, for, you understand, a factory, office, you stand a very good chance of getting selected. If you are a sheet metal worker, you understand, you work with sheets with and with your NOC 72102, you stand a great deal of chance to get selected under this. If you are also a water well driller with NOC 72501, you stand a very good chance of getting selected. You know, water drillers are people that drill wells, people that drill water reservoirs, you understand, that drill maybe like dams and things like that. You stand a very good chance of also getting selected if that is your occupation and you are very skilled in it, and you can actually show, you can show that yes, you have experience in that line and you can actually deliver on the job that is given unto you. If you are a welder or a related machine operator, a welder or related machine operator with NOC 72106, you stand a very good chance to actually get selected in these rules. Now let's look at this. They're also stating that apprentices in these trades frequently perform the majority of the duties for the occupation. So apprenticeship jobs and work experience will generally count as the same occupation. Now this is very important because some people, you know, you are working under a boss and the boss is in charge of you and you are the one. So far you are being paid, so far you have years of experience or at least even months of experience, you understand, you stand a very good chance of also getting selected under this, under that particular occupation that you are doing your apprenticeship training on, and you are getting paid to actually work. Now some of you may ask, how do I know my occupation is eligible? Okay, we have talked about some of the occupations. We have also listed the NOC codes. How would you be able to know that, okay, this your particular occupation is currently eligible for that particular um, program? Now let's look at it. They said, provided that you meet the minimum criteria, provided that you meet the minimum criteria for express entry, you can qualify for what? Trade category draw by having, number one, at least 6 months of full-time continuous work experience, or an equal amount of what? An equal amount of part-time work experience. Do you understand? Within when? Within the past 3 years in a category eligible occupation. Now, let's to see whether any of your jobs are eligible for the trade categories. You have to follow these steps. Number one, you have to visit the Government of Canada's NOC website, and you have to use the filter items search. When you use the filter item search bar, you have to find the NOC code that matches your what? That matches your work experience. I give the instance of carpenters and cabinet makers. If you try keyword searching, you understand, maybe you search different variations if needed. For instance, if you search cabinets, it will show you a job down. If you search carpenters, it will show you a job down. If you search anything you search, you understand, it's going to take you to that similar what, or that exact um occupation that you can actually work with. Now, step 2 is to verify each NOC code on the Employment and Social Development Canada ESDC site under the Search by NOC Code tab. Review the example lead statement and the main duties. Your role, your duties that you are performing in that particular job or in that particular occupation must closely align with the lead statement, number one, and include a substantial amount or number of what, of the listed duties for you to be able to qualify for that particular occupation. And now we are going to do an instance if time permits us. Number 3, the step 3 is to check if your what, if your NOC codes appear in the table above, the table that we actually mentioned all the occupations. Now, if it does, then your category or your occupation is eligible under the trade category. Now, they said the 6-month work experience must be within a single occupation. You cannot say, oh, I have experience as a carpenter for 2 months and I have experience as a cabinet maker for 4 months. No, that will not amount to 6 months of work experience. Rather, you should use an experience whereby you have for carpentry for 6 months at least. The more experience you have, the better. You understand? But you cannot mix and match occupations. For example, you cannot be summing up 2 months of work experience in one eligible occupation and 4 months of work experience in another eligible occupation. It doesn't work that way. Now, what are the alternate job titles for the newly added trade occupation? Because some of you, they may not be calling you a bricklayer. You understand? You may not be called a bricklayer in your own expertise, in your own occupation. You may be using another name. They may be using another name to call you, but the roles, the responsibilities that a bricklayer is doing is also the same as yours. So here is a look at the occupations that were added to the trade category in February 2025, and we would also list some of the alternate or example job titles that you can expect to hear for your own particular what, for your own particular um occupation. Now, number 1, let's look at the bricklayers, as I mentioned. If they say you are an apprentice bricklayer, you are still a bricklayer. A brick mason, you are still a bricklayer. A refractory bricklayer, a stone cutter, a stone mason, you are still a bricklayer, and you can also apply using that occupation. If you are a cabinet maker, maybe a cabinet maker apprentice, a custom wood furniture maker, you are a furniture cabinet maker, you also fall under cabinet maker. If you are a concrete finisher and you say you are a cement finisher apprentice, you are also there. A cement mason, a concrete mason, a precast concrete finisher, you also stand a chance under concrete makers or concrete finishers. If you are a construction estimator, maybe you are the chief estimator in construction, you are the cost estimator in construction, you are the principal estimator in construction, you are the professional quantity surveyor or quantity surveyor construction, then you fall under the what? The construction estimators. If you are a construction manager, maybe you are a commercial construction manager, that's your role or that's your title. If your title is construction project manager, construction superintendent, general contractor, I hear a lot of this word, general contractor, housing construction manager. If you are an industrial construction manager, if you are a pipeline construction manager, if you are a residential construction manager, you still fall under what? Construction managers, and you can apply for the what? Trades occupation category. If you are a contractor and supervisor in the oil and gas drilling services, you can say your role or your title is fracturing supervisor, multi-service operator, oil field services, or rig manager. All these titles still work for construction contractors and supervisors in the oil and gas. Now, if you are a cook, some of the titles you can use is apprentice cook, dietary cook, first cook, grill cook, hospital cook, institutional cook, journeyman or woman cook, licensed cook, line cook, second cook, short order cook. Now, if you are an electrical mechanic, some people say electrician, but electrician has its own particular NOC code. If you're an amateur window repairer, you are still under electrical mechanics. You are a coil winder and repairer if you are under electric motor systems technician, if you are an electrical mechanic apprentice, if you are an electrical rewind mechanic, if you are an electrical transformer repairer, if you are an industrial motor winder or repairer, if you are a power transformer repairer, if you are a transformer repairer, you also stand under that. Now, what of floor covering installers? As we said, a carpet layer, you're under that. A floor covering installer apprentice, a floor covering mechanic, a hardware floor layer, a residential floor and wall covering installer. You also fall under this. A resilient floor installer, a vinyl floor installer is part of floor covering installers. What of if you are a gas fitter? Yes, if you are a gas fitter apprentice, you stand a chance. A gas servicer, a gas technician, an industrial gas fitter or tester, you also stand a very good chance. Now, if you are an heavy duty equipment mechanic, one of the titles you can have is agricultural equipment technician, construction equipment mechanic, diesel mechanic, heavy equipment, farm equipment mechanic. If you are an heavy equipment mechanic, heavy mobile lodging equipment mechanic, heavy mobile mining equipment mechanic, heavy duty equipment mechanic apprentice. If you are a heavy duty equipment technician, a locomotive mechanic, or a tractor mechanic. Please, if you have any questions about all what we are saying or what we are doing today, you can drop it on the comment section and we'll do justice to responding to it as soon as we get it. Now, if you are under home building and renovation managers, like that's what you do. If you are a home builder, you can also migrate with this. If you are a home renovation contractor, if you are a home renovator, a renovation contractor, a residential homes contractor, you also stand a chance. What of industrial electricians? If you are an industrial electrician, mechanic, apprentice, a marine electrician, a mill electrician, a mine electrician, a plant electrician, a maintenance electrician, or a shipyard electrician, you also stand a very good chance to come in under this category. If you are a machinist and machining tooling inspector, either an automotive machinist, an aviation machinist, a general machinist, a machine shop inspector, a machined parts inspector, a machining inspector, a machinist apprentice, a tooling inspector, you also stand a chance. Now, other technical trades and related occupations like aircraft pa- pattern maker, if you're a blacksmith, if you're a commercial diver, if you're a die setter, if you're an explosive ordnance detector, a farrier, if you're a gunsmith, a locksmith, a reclamation diver, a restoration steeple jack, a safe maker, a saw fitter, a small arms repairer, a toolsmith, a an underwater contractor, a vault repairer is also stand under that. If you're a painter or decorator, except for being an interior decorator, you can work as a construction painter, a maintenance painter, a painter and decorator apprentice, or a paper hanger. Now, if you are a roofer or shingler, you can work as an apprentice roofer, an asphalt roofer, a built-up roofer, a flat roofer, a residential stiff roofer, steep roofer, a single ply roofer. If you are a sheet metal worker, you can work as an apprentice sheet metal worker, a sheet metal fabricator, a sheet metal mechanic, or a tinsmith. What of water well drillers? You can work as a cable tool driller, water well drilling, a churn drill operator with water well drilling, a water well driller apprentice. Now, these are all the new occupations that are under the trade categories under the express entry. Now, you may ask, how do express entry categories increase one's chances of gaining permanent residence in Canada? Now, if you want to qualify for a category based draw, you are more likely to receive an invitation to apply for PR through what? Through express entry. And that is because you can be invited in a category based draw with a significantly lower CRS score than the general or the Canadian experience class draw. For example, in the year 2024, the CRS cutoff for general draws ranged from between 524 and 549. However, in the same year, the CRS cutoff for trade occupations ranged between 433 and 436. So we may tell you right now that, okay, if you are pursuing the trades occupation under the category based draws of express entry, you should be looking at actually gathering about 430 to 440 points under your CRS score in order to stand a better chance. And how will you be able to do that? We can assist you by helping you to actually prepare for language examinations, writing your examinations and excelling and having band 8, band 9 and above. We can assist you by actually helping you to get more experience, telling you how you can gather more experience. You understand how you can actually become more qualified, or if it is to actually go get another certification, we can also see how you can get an easy and a quicker certificate for you to actually be able to come into Canada as a permanent resident on time. Now, what are we saying in essence? This means that if you fall under the eligible category under the what? Under the trades occupation, your chances of receiving an invitation greatly improve even with a lower CRS score. So even if you have a lower CRS score, you can still migrate to Canada if you have other things actually work for you. So if you want us to actually assist you at A.O.S abroad, you can reach out to us at aos.name.ng, where we can help you to look into your own particular situation through the help of our immigration consultant and see how we can actually be of assistance to you, how we can render you the assistance you need in order to actually get selected as fast as possible. So thank you very much, everyone. Do you have any questions or any clarifications you'd like to ask before we call it a day? If you have any, kindly drop it on the comment section and let's see how to actually assist you to become much more knowledgeable or much more informed about the immigration pathways you have to Canada. If you don't have any questions, we'll tell you, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your family and friends. Hit the notification bell to get notified anytime we drop a content or anytime we come on live. And also like, share, and subscribe. For those that don't know, at least once a week we always come on live. And I think this week we have come on live twice. You understand, on Tuesday and on Thursday, which is today. So please um hit on the notification bell to get notified anytime we are coming on live or anytime we drop a content, so that you can actually benefit from it. And if you want to, as I said, actually reach out to us, if you want to actually let us work with you, go on our website aos.name.ng, and of course we'll be of assistance to you through that link. So thank you very much, everyone, and do have a nice day ahead. Bye for now. Au revoir.